Welcome to Contemplative Living, where we view contemplations for the week to have a better understanding of our spiritual paths. This is Contemplative Living with Dave Bennett, contemplations and reflective meditations. Hello and welcome to another Contemplative Living, where we talk about concepts to bring contemplative living into everyday life. You know, Lao Tzu said, muddy water, let stand, becomes clear. That's kind of what contemplative living is really all about, is a lot of times our consciousness gets so wrapped up in all of the circumstances that are happening within our life that we lose track of our center. We lose track of our spiritual self. And so when we find some stillness or we go into meditation, we find our center again. We come back to ourselves and we become clear. So that's kind of what we're trying to do with our podcast, Contemplative Living, is we're trying to find those moments of stillness that bring clarity into our lives so that we can then exemplify that in our lives. All right. So discover that heart-centered consciousness means unconditional love and acceptance of all people in their infinite diversity. You know, I used to manage a bunch of dialysis centers, and I had to put together teams that worked together. And when I was putting together teams, I would look for diverse types and opinions, because if we had everybody that thought exactly the same all the time, we really wouldn't be innovative at all. And it's the same way with life. You know, if we all walked the same way, if we all talked the same way, then, you know, it would be pretty boring, actually. So we need diversity. And we need to accept with our heart center and with unconditional love all the peoples of the world so that we can use that diversity to find strengths. You know, some people may be better at one thing than another. And so to allow everyone to have their strengths and their weaknesses and to accept that so that they can be who they are, then we allow ourselves to have a greater sense of accomplishment because we're working together. So that's kind of a way to move forward through a lot of what's going on in the world today. Now, we are here as the divine's eyes and ears, as it experiences itself through every possible viewpoint. Wow. So if that's the way the divine can be in this present moment, it's through us, because we are divine. We're a part of the divine oneness. We're a part of that unity of God, and that Christ consciousness resides within each and every one of us. So that being the case, then the divine sees and hears all that we experience. And like we were just talking about with the diversity of the types of people that are walking this earth, the divine now has the ability to see all viewpoints all the time. That's incredibly powerful when you think about it. It really shows that we are a global community. Diversity is integral to our purpose in existence. All people are honored and equal, where all people are honored and equally. So we want to honor all the different walks of life. Now, I know, and you know, that we don't necessarily always agree, But that's okay, as long as we honor that they have their opinion, I have my opinion. They're trying the best they can in their life to get to where they need to be. We're all trying to grow spiritually in our own ways. But that diversity, if we honor it, allows us to build strength in our communities and in our, in our circles of friends and everywhere. So it's something to really consider. Now, letting go opens the door to new discoveries and enables us to feel truly alive. We were just talking about all the diversity and everything, but also within ourselves, sometimes we do need to let go. Because when we let go, when we have a closed mind, when we're narrowly focused, there's a lot that's going on in the periphery that we don't even see and that we're not aware of. So when we let go of that narrow focus, expand our vision, it does open doors to new discoveries and enables us to really, really squeeze the juice out of life and feel life in its totality. It's a beautiful thing when we can experience that. It makes us feel more alive, like everything in life is there to experience. Now, to shift gears a little bit here, we're going to say we are nothing but a dry leaf being blown by the winds of the divine. So if we let go, what's the saying? Let go and let God. If we let go, then we're carried along on those currents that the divine really wants us to flow with. Cindy was doing a webinar just this week, and I don't remember why, but for some reason she brought up an episode that happened to me in my life where I was feeling just out of sorts. It felt like the world was just this hurricane just swirling around, and I was this pillar in the middle of this hurricane. And so I sought out a Rinpoche to kind of ask, what can I do? What can I do to move on in life? And I explained this feeling to the Rinpoche, and he said to me, be the pillar. In other words, be yourself. Be who you are meant to be. And if we take that a little bit further, we can say that once we allow ourselves to be who we are nothing but a dry leaf being blown on the winds of the divine. So let's again let go and allow ourselves to be blown on these winds and allow that divine guidance to show us where we really can apply ourselves to be of more benefit to our fellow man, but also to benefit our spiritual growth and our being. Prepare yourself. Being prepared is important in life. And how can we do that? We do that by preparing ourselves mentally, emotionally, and physically, and spiritually. So we prepare ourselves by eating a healthy diet, by exercising, by having a spiritual practice. And as we're preparing ourselves, we want to be humble enough to realize that the outcome ultimately belongs to a higher power. Again, that's that drifting along on the divine flow, the divine winds, wherever it takes and whatever it delivers in our lives. So we need to prepare ourselves. We need to work on our being, work on ourselves physically, emotionally, spiritually, but then allow life to unfold and allow life to be what it needs to be. That can be hard And we lose track because circumstances sweep us up. And we know that right now there's a lot of turbulence in our lives. But remember, be the pillar and allow yourself to be carried by divine guidance. And let divine guidance show you the way through the storm. And then maybe, just maybe, we might be able to honor the diversity within the rest of humanity that are around us. Allow them to find their course through the storm and honor that. And then I think we can build a stronger community. We can build a stronger world. I hope you have a great week coming up. And I hope that you can see that the diversity in the world isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it can be a strength that we can grow on. Have a great week. Namaste.